Hello, everyone. I'm Carolyn Winter, and welcome to Make Peace Personal in 2018. This is our World Peace Hologram session. So glad that you are participating. So wonderful to have you here. Well, whenever you arrive here, it's so wonderful doing these sessions in a virtual space and really kind of like a hologram. It's good anytime you come here to do the session, even though I've done it on here on May the 1st, 2018. So let's get going with the session. Was looking over submissions, and we've got really a long growing list of world peace issues for which we've all made our own personal intentions. So I hope you remember your area that you're focusing on, because that's really important. They say in quantum physics that everything is in potential, and the only thing that manifests is what we put our attention to. So I'm counting on you, and so is the world, the grid of humanity, to put your attention onto the area of peace that you're intending for. And together, all of our entrained group energy for all of our intentions is making this beautiful big field of healing energy, of wholeness and compassion for the world. And guess what? When you do that, you benefit too, which is why I asked you to really help direct some of that energy back to you for your own personal intention. So the sky is the limit with these intentions, of course, and there's a bottomless end to the issues that we could solve for world peace, from the really smallest little issue in the world to the biggest issues involving leaders and countries and all of that stuff, big institutions. But we can do something in our own way with our own field of energy. And every time we do, each one of us, it's like we're a molecule in the field of energy. And it only takes one small shift in the system to create a system-wide effect. So hopefully that's what we're accomplishing here. But the list is quite long with all the submissions received so far for the different kinds of issues in the world, etc. So what I'm now doing with these sessions is narrowing them down. I'm keeping a log of everybody's intentions, and everybody's intentions are proxied into every session for all of 2018. But for the sake of doing the session, we're going to pick what we call a proxy, something to stand in for the main component parts of this repatterning session. So we begin with, today we're going, because I've heard from a few of you about how things have shifted in what you've noticed in the news regarding your area of focus for world peace. It's good to take a pause and acknowledge what's gone well. Because, you can spend your days looking at what's gone wrong, but our intentions, I think, are actually starting to make a difference. So we're going to start this session with some appreciations, and I'm putting in here the appreciations I received by email from some of you, and some of the things I've noticed myself in the news as we go forward. I'll comment on some of these, and then I'm going to muscle check our resonance with our orientation to self, our self as a group and our self individually, towards world peace and what we've accomplished. So the statement would be, I think we need to start with I'm using the resonance repatterning system, by the way, and this muscle checking tool. This is our map for getting around all the patterns of energy in the world. And I'm looking at an orientation to ourselves. So this group energy, and it's that we need appreciation. And so I've done that. I've got a little list, which I'm about to read. But the statement is, I appreciate what has gone well is that here we are. The hospital situation has improved in my area with the announcement of major capital funding and an amalgamation that could equitably redistribute funds. Yay! Gun violence is down in my intended city. Yay! That there's a positive turn in the talks for peace between North and South Korea and with the United States. I know everybody's sitting on their hands waiting with bated breath to see if it's all going to work out well, but it just seems like a dream come true compared to where we were at the first of the year. How Toronto this is mine. I mean, you can't help but remember that Toronto was in the news with a horrible situation of somebody taking a van and mowing down a number of people. I appreciate how Toronto responded to the recent act of violence, killing at least 10 people and injuring 14. That starting with the peaceful takedown by a regular beat cop just quietly took the guy down without firing a shot. That had to be amazing. Just saw the situation for what it was, turned off his police siren, de-escalated the situation, and arrested him. The coordinated responses to this horrible event by the leaders at all levels, so that the public was really reassured and felt safe and protected. The selfless acts of so many people that came forward, to people that had died and there was nobody beside them. Somebody came for each person and sat with them to help arrive, which was miraculous. Just minutes after the calls came in, the memorials, the interfaith services, the helplines that were set up, not just for the immediate victims, but also the recognizing the first responders are, by such horrific acts, there's memories being created in our collective database that are hard to erase. Well, helplines were established for the victims, the first responders, and just people from the community that witnessed this event and needed some help. And I think what I really loved was that the St. John's ambulance brought in compassion dogs to hang out in the courtyards. There's some lovely courtyards in this area where people gathered at lunches and, strolling to the shopping areas, etc. So all the memorials were set up there with the flowers, etc. And the compassion dogs were coming by so that people could hug them and just feel the love. I appreciate the effort to publicly grieve our losses and repattern the public space, the energy of the public space and public psyche, to keep things in balance, in perspective, move forward with courage, resolve, and a return to normal. It'll be a while, but we're on a really humane path to recovery. And we're off for all of these appreciations. So that's where we start our session. So just take a breath. We're moving into the next part. And I muscle checked ahead. We have a number of topics, areas that people made submissions. And I'm just going to read some of the areas and I'll tell you which one came up for today. Racial discrimination, issues of sexism and women's rights, economic stability, shelter and basic rights, gun control, weapons of mass destruction, global relations, environmental issues, world health, and world leadership. So those are some of the world issues that were raised. And today we're working on world health, big topic. And you can see right away, I no sooner mention that, and you can see how world health relates to your health. We are all interconnected. So the statement here. Okay, so now I'm going to muscle check this issue. I just did a quick Google search on world health issues, and this is what we come back with. Having muscle checked of all the options, 36 million deaths each year are caused by non-communicable diseases such as cardiovascular disease, cancer, diabetes, and chronic lung diseases. And there's a lack of equitable access to health care. And I'm muscle checking that we resonate with those two world issues to do with health. So what do we want instead? So a number of you have submitted intentions that are roughly grouped under health. And I'm going to read what those are. The world is, so these are the intentions. The world is vegetarian. All humans choose to eat plant-based diet as they're committed to the well-being of sentient beings. The Ontario government makes appropriate decisions on on funding Ontario hospitals, and they increase funding or change the funding model to better suit frontline staff and patients. I think that's actually happening. First responders and frontline workers are supported through phases of transition. And South Africa is a peaceful country with sufficient abundance and resources for everyone. Everyone is welcomed and appreciated for who they are and what they have to offer, and everyone respects each other. So those are our world health issues, and we need to list any others. We don't. So muscle checking, we're off for all of those. Sorry, we are umbilically, unconsciously on for these intentions. These intentions. I'm getting confused here. This is a section of intentions for world health. So we need one to be the proxy for everything I read. The world is vegetarian. I'm going to put that in. And muscle checking, we are off for that. So off for all of these. So any of the intentions you submitted for no matter what category also included. But this section and this particular statement proxies it all. So now we move into our personal intentions. I want to remind you, it's a big field of energy that we're creating, each of us intending peace somewhere in the world. And so our love is going up there to the grid and creating something out there. That energy will come back to us in some way. So it's good to have our own personal intentions. And you never know, it can start manifesting from out of nowhere with these sessions. So I picked the category of health and wellness. And our personal issues include resolution of health issues related to digestive problems, bring joy and fulfillment into my life through my painting. I bring joy and fulfillment into my life through my painting. I feel deeply loved and cherished, accomplish my goals with ease, and experience peace within and outside myself. I'm vegetarian. I have peace in my heart. I'm healthy, creative, abundant, in useful action, evolving to be better and better. I'm fit and toned and have shed 15 pounds of excess weight. Elimination of swelling in the lower extremities. I am healthy on all levels, specifically for me, and I'll leave these in the notes. You can fill in the blank. I think we might have done this last time. I'm conscious and aware of the people, situation, events that trigger negativity in me, and moment by moment make conscious choices to spiral up and remain positive. And we need anything else for this list of personal intentions. We don't. And muscle checking, we are off for these intentions. Okay. Mark that as off. Okay, so now how is it that our personal intentions and our world intentions are connected? Well, first of all, we'll say this statement about checking on global peace is disturbed due to a lack of equitable health care for everyone, or poor health care delivery systems that create unfair profit at the expense of good care. And we're on for that problem statement. Okay. And now our personal awareness of the connection between peace out there and peace in here. World health issues of 36 million deaths each year caused by non-communicable diseases, such as cardiovascular cancer, diabetes, and chronic lung, reflects my personal issues. And I'm muscle checking arthritis. You can fill in what it is for you. What is the personal health issue for you? But we're on for inside matches the outside. So the world health issue, it's huge. But guess what? The frequency, we're matching that same frequency. It's disturbed out there for world health. Our inner health is also affected. We're on for this disturbed health. So now I'll go back to, those are our basic issues and intentions for world peace and inner peace. We need more orientation. We don't. Problems, no. Intentions, no. Repatterning, yes. So I'll go to my catalogs. I've got primary patterns, unconscious patterns, chakra patterns, meridian and 5 elements, relationships, visions, energetics. So I've got a book of repatternings called Energetics of Relationship. A lot of this is based on the model or the analogy of how electricity works, as analogous to the energy that flows between people in their relationships. So let's see what we need here. Section 1, Section 2, the inductor to create current flow and a magnetic field of attraction. For relationship intention, no. Energy exchange repatterning. So go to that repatterning, page 67. We need to read about it first. We don't. Okay, so here we go. Energy exchange repatterning. The first question is, now we'll have to adapt this a little bit to the purpose of this session. I'm just going to write that down. You know, when I'm looking here, I'm writing the notes, right? Energy exchange repatterning. Okay, and we need something about a relationship, intimacy, repeating patterns. Do you tend to repeat the same pattern every time you get into a relationship and you want a new positive possibility in your relationship? So let's take that back to world peace. And let's say we repeat patterns that create disturbances in world peace at the level of health, wellness, like that. And we need to list more. We need more details. We don't. So I'm checking the statement. We repeat patterns that create disturbances in world peace at the level of health and wellness. And we're on for repeating these patterns over and over again. So now, interesting here, I'm going to read this little thing about 3 kinds of energy, how energy is exchanged between people. There are 3 different ways. Really interesting. And as I read this, I want you to think about how this applies on the local news, to your world peace hologram issue, to the leaders on the world stage. What do you see in each? How do you see it playing out with leaders and your situation? And then we'll go back to the repatterning. Valerie Hunt, a research scientist on energy fields, talks about 3 types of energy exchanges between people. Reaction exchange, transaction exchange, and interaction exchange. The first, reaction, involves too much force or intensity, which results in impulsive, reactive responses based on past survival responses. In the reaction exchange, the people involved are not inducing the energy of love into their relationship. When only non-coherent energy is exchanged, acceptance, understanding, and listening, which create current flow and a strong magnetic field, are missing. Then there's the next level, transaction exchange, where people energetically select those frequencies they are comfortable allowing into their field. This unconscious discrimination enables those in relationship to protect their field from frequencies they do not want or feel ready to absorb. Because the transaction exchange is based on protection and filtering, it does not support a full and free energetic expansion, and therefore acceptance and growth are limited. So it's almost like saying, I'm going to breathe this air over here, but not that air. So you kind of hold back in the exchange of energy. Wow, where do you see that on the world stage? And how does that affect world peace? So the third kind is called interaction exchange, and that's where one field of energy is coherent and streams out in expansion to merge with another's coherent field, which is also streaming and expanding. In this type of energy exchange, where both fields expand, there's a maximum acceptance and loving honesty, intimacy, trust, and caring is the natural outcome of this type of interaction exchange. We all long for it, and I bet you, if you thought about it, there have been moments in some of your relationships where you could really just feel that connection melt into the field of another person and just feel like you can share your energy freely. A friend, according to Chloe Wordsworth writes, a friend described a magical moment that occurred when she stepped onto a bus. She happened to look up, and at that moment, she and the bus driver made eye contact for about 2 seconds. They both smiled. No words were exchanged, but in that momentary connection between two strangers, there was unconditional love, a streaming and merging of coherent energy, an interaction exchange. When there is an interaction exchange, whether between strangers, acquaintances, colleagues, partners, spouses, or family members, it is always a peak moment in time, remembered with pleasure and awe. So those are the three kinds of exchanges. And of course, we want the last one to really boost our life and boost the planet. So, but most of the planet is in the reactionary phase, and polite society is in transaction. So what we want is interaction. But let's just check. What do we need? There's a reaction exchange involved. There is. So it's 1, it's 2, it's 3. Unsafe, unprotected, afraid. It's this and this and this. So you could say out loud with me, I feel unsafe and unprotected to let blanks intense energy in. So, I'll say a world leader. I won't name a leader. That's not fair, but I'll name a leader. You can name someone specific for you. And yeah, so let's say it that way. I feel unsafe and unprotected to let a world leader's intense energy in. And we're on for that. Feel unsafe and unprotected to let a world leader, this needs to be plural, no, so a particular world leader's intense energy in. And we're on for that. There's something needed from a transaction exchange of energy. Yes, it's 1, it's 2, it's 3, it's 4. I don't radiate my energy freely. Could say that. Because I filter what I allow into my field. We're on for that. I don't radiate my energy freely. So it's not that the worst of possibilities. It's not reactionary, but it is kind of like, closed off. Don't radiate my energy freely because I filter what I allow into my field. On for that. So there's a loss of interaction exchange. That's the good kind of energy exchange, and it's not happening either. But we need a statement there. We do. It's 1, it's 2. First part, second part. You could say, I'm afraid to radiate the positive vibration of my field so that both our energy fields expand. So we're on for the fear. I am afraid to radiate positive vibration my field so that both our energy fields expand. That's off. Okay, now we're going to check with an interaction exchange on the relationship continuum. So relationship energy, there's all kinds of types of energy exchanges happening, and it goes along a continuum. Obviously, if you're married or you're a parent and a child, there's a very deep, intimate connection at the more evolved end. And at the other end of the spectrum is, our eyes first meet. We're just friends, for example, or just acquaintances that we've just met at a bus stop or whatever. So, and then there's all these different types of interactions in between. We'll explore what those are. So there's an acquaintance type of energy, relationship, interaction energy involved. No. So we're good for just meeting people and exchanging energy. There's a colleague type. Yes, these are people that you work with. Think about the world stage where, not just world leaders that you see in the news, but there's armies of staff that have to connect from this country's staff at this managerial level with managerial staff in another country over the various issues that they're talking about. So at the collegial level, there's a non-coherent couple of qualities. One, two, I feel inadequate in relation to my colleagues in another country. So we're on for that. I feel, so colleague energy, I'll put that in. You might find that interesting. And think about how that statement works for you in your own work situation. It could equally apply. So I feel inadequate in relation to all my colleagues in another country. But for you, it might be just at work, for example. There's another non-coherent colleague quality here. Yes, 1 through 5 to 10 to 15, 10, 11, 12. I only talk about work-related issues and constantly bring conversation back to work. And we're on for that. So there's no relationship building there. It's always work, 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 work type of thing, right? So I talk, and that doesn't build a relationship, by the way, talk only about work-related issues and constantly bring the conversation back to work. On. And there's another non-coherent colleague type energy. There isn't. There's a coherent energy needed. There is. We need 1 through 5 to 10, 11. So I could say this. I open to my colleague relationships, evolving and deepening in trust over time. Wow, we're off for that. Well, wouldn't that be nice regarding even North and South Korea even? I am open to my colleague relationships, evolving and deepening in trust over time. That's all. We need another colleague type energy. We don't. We need a physical friendship type of energy exchange quality. We don't. Emotional. We do. There's non-coherent, coherent. It's 1, it's 2, it's 3, it's 4, it's 6. Lovely. We need this for the world stage for sure. And I'm sure everybody can use this one at work. You can say, we cooperate and harmoniously combine our efforts and abilities in all our endeavors. And we're off for that. We cooperate and harmoniously combine our efforts and abilities in all of our endeavors. And we're off. And that's an emotional quality needed. All right. All right, now we need another type of exchange. We need the mental level. We do. Non-coherent is involved. Coherent, so we need a coherent one. That was the only emotional one we needed. Well, I had a feeling, we have to go back to this list. This is quite a long, juicy list here. We need something else from 1 through 5 to 10. 5, 6, 7, 8. We laugh together. We're off. We laugh together. We're off. We need 9, we need 10, we need anything else from 1 through 15 to 19. Now we'll look at the mental qualities. I mean, research the emotional ones. The non-coherent is 1, 2, 3, awkward, uneasy. Say the flow of listening and talking is uneasy, and that's on. The flow of listening and talking is uneasy. That is on. Something else from 1 through 9. There's a coherent mental quality needed. Yes, it's 1. Say communication flows easily and energizes both of us. And we're off for that. Off. So we need any other coherent mental quality? We do not. We need a spiritual quality? No. A therapeutic quality? No. Something from mothering, fathering, child energy, intimacy energy? We're good. All right. So we've got our main exchange patterns. There's an earlier experience that we need to identify. We don't usually do the early experience with world peace. It's a little difficult, but sometimes I've checked. The odd time I've checked for an earlier experience, like World War I or something Queen Victoria did. Still paying the price for it today, but not today. Instead we need to identify new possibilities in the present. It's one of these statements, or do we need another list? It's one of these statements. No, it's new possibilities in the present, and it's something else from another category of submissions, something we've already stated. No, this is something just off we just need to intuit this. Right, well, if you're there listening, then help me think this out. The question then is, what new possibilities do we want for world peace in the present? So I'm just going to write that out to begin with. World peace possibilities for the present. Okay, well, let's get creative here. Just going to check. The situation with North and South Korea is fully resolved, and we have peace in this lifetime. That's one. The situation in North and South Korea is fully resolved, and we have lasting peace in this lifetime. This morning, the details were off for that. Okay, so that's big. There's another world peace possibility for the present we need to consider. We do. All right, what else needs an intention? It's about the gun violence in the U.S. particularly. No, taken care of. I think peace. I think gun violence is actually down now from a couple of things I've read. We need to look at healthcare that we talked about. No. One of the other categories, I'm going to look at the categories that everyone submitted. One of these, no. Gun control, environment, world health, no. It's the personal intentions needed, not yet. No, something that's been in the news, the Toronto situation, no. Economic stability, discrimination, shelter, basic rights, something specific. What could it be? We need a new possibility of everything that we need for the world. Oh, it just came to me because of it's to do with the healthcare. It is. All right, we're on to it. Not only the situation in North Korea, but for a completely different turn on things, will intend equitable quality healthcare for all, and a delivery system that makes it happen. You know, it's hard to believe with all the resources we have on the planet that we can't take care of each other worldwide. With money left over, go for coffee. You know, really, really, it's just about distribution and putting aside egos and power trips, etc. There's enough for everybody. So that's our intention. And we need to list more. We need more details. Let's intend this equitable quality health care for all and a delivery system that makes it happen. We're off for that. Okay. Anything else needed for world peace possibilities for the present? Again and off. All right. Going on, we need to look at the non-coherent planetary frequencies involved. Planets are off the hook at the moment. Body types involved? No. How this works on the chakra level? Yes. So the chakras, you know, energy centers throughout the body. You could say a system has a set of chakras that govern how that energy flows as well. We're looking at earth chakra energy. No. Water chakra energy. No. Fire, for, you know, being in right action. No. Heart chakra energy. It's ether chakra. That's about new beginnings, is ether. So I'm going to check on what we need there. Ether chakra. This is so fascinating, I have to say. So ether chakra energy we need to identify strong current and magnetic field response that's needed to support interaction at the level of the ether chakra, which by the way is in the throat area. It governs things like having faith, creative self-expression, a creativity that streams from the divine, like from beyond who you are. It's bigger than you. It's where you write a thesis in a weekend because the ideas just flow. And it's also about expression, right? So the statement that we need is one, we feel connected to each other between time and space, beyond time and space. Well, we're off for that. We feel connected to each other beyond time and space. What a lovely statement. We're off for it. We need 2, we need 3, we need 4. We experience deep harmony with each other. We're off for that. And we need 6, 7, 8. We need anything else from the ether chakra. We do not. We need to check on the coherent planetary frequencies needed. No. And we just have 2 more pieces of information to check for before we move into some healing options. A commitment is needed for supporting interaction exchange. It is. It's 1. We are committed to loving each other unconditionally beyond our personal gratification and our weakness, beyond our personal gratification. We're off for that. Commitment. So I'll just write that out. We are committed to loving each other unconditionally beyond our personal gratification. And we're off for that. And right pacing is needed. We don't need that statement. Okay, then. So that's our energy exchange repatterning. We need anything else from a repatterning? We need to move to spiral up options. We do. From this book? No. From the spiral up book? We have a book for that. It's Spiral Up Options. Very nice book. It's a catalog of healing, I call them exercises, that Chloe Wordsworth distilled from all the major healing systems in the world. And she wrote it in a way that anybody can learn to do them for themselves, to shift your energy in an instant. And lots of them are just, inexpensive, free, easy to do, and do really create a lovely shift. So we need process options, sound options, color and light options, movement options, breath. Not so far, but a couple things more. Energy contacts are needed, yes. So on this page, we need 1 through 5 to 10. It's number 10. It's Jinshin points. Jinshin points. Otherwise known as the 26 safety energy locks of Jinshin Jujitsu, another healing system. So in this system, I call it like Japanese acupuncture. They're like 26 points on the front and the back of the body. And each one stands for a number of things that it clears on the mental, emotional, and physical level. What we need for this session, for the world issues and our personal issues and the group as a whole: back of the body, front of the body, above the waist, below the waist. 15, 1, 5. It's number 5. It's on the foot. So first of all, I'm going to show you where this is. I'm going to hold it on behalf of the group by proxy using this chart. But do you see where number 5 is right there? It's on the top of the foot. Kind of lines up, I guess, with the big toe, I'm guessing. That's the big toe. I'll read that in a second. We'll know for sure. And I'll tell you what this is for. And then we'll just do the point. If you find that on yourself, you're welcome to hold it. You can feel a little buzz. You don't have to press hard. Just I always say, let the point invite you in. You can almost feel a little magnetic tug when you get close to the point. So just look for the point on the top of your foot. It's at the base. Where is it? It's on the area of located on the area by the inside ankle bone. So I guess, hard to say, but let's say this is my ankle. So the top of the foot by the ankle bone. I guess on the outside of your foot. So on the physical level, it energizes the bladder and the kidneys. It relieves chest and shoulder tension, back and hip stress. But you've been sitting for an hour already. It's good for sprains. On the mental emotional level, it's good for overcoming fear by connecting to spirit. And that's the description. And so we'll just hold that point. So I'm just using the chart, and I'm going to hold this by proxy. For everyone who's participating in this program, whether you're here virtually in real time or in future time, and just breathe. And open the clock out. Clock. Right. We're just holding a Jinshin point, number 5 on the foot by the ankle. Just hold it lightly and breathe. We'll hold this for another minute. Now as you make contact with that point, feel the energy releasing. Feel the energy exchange moving from a reactionary position, from a closed off filtering position, and into an open accepting position. That our energy freely moves between people, exchange energy freely, and growth happens for everyone involved. And as you hold that, you might feel that your finger wants to pull away from the point. Allow that to happen. Might want to hover above it. That's okay. You're feeling the energy beginning to flow through. And take another breath. Okay, that seems to be complete. So slowly take your finger away. Take a deep, energizing breath to integrate that. Let's just for a moment think about world peace. We'll do that as the next modality. So, this is a visualization. So, close your eyes. Take another deep breath into your heart center. And I want you to, in your mind's eye, to imagine world peace happening for the situation in North and South Korea. That it's fully resolved. And that there's lasting peace in this lifetime. And that there's equitable health care for everyone. And a delivery system that makes it happen. See that happening. People thinking outside the box, making new methods of healthcare available for everyone. Breathing. This is complete. It is. You can bring that visualization to a close. Very good. And we need to say anything else about that. Now, it just occurred to me, I don't think we did personal intentions. We need to do something now for personal intentions. Oh, yes, we did personal intentions. Sorry. Yes, we did. All right. So now we need anything else before we clear the statements. We don't. We're going to go back to the top and see what we've shifted. And just notice how you feel as I go through these now a second time and see where you can locate peace shifting, your body shifting towards peace within your body. Okay. Appreciation. This is self-appreciation is needed. We appreciate the hospital situation has improved in my area with the announcement of major capital funding and an amalgamation that could equitably redistribute funds. Gun violence is down in my intended city, that there's a positive turn in talks for peace between North and South Korea and with the United States. How Toronto responded recently to the recent act of violence, killing 10, injuring 14 people. Beginning with the peaceful takedown of the perpetrator by a regular police officer, the coordinated responses of the leaders at all levels to create safety and security among everyone. And the selfless acts of individuals on the scene, the memorials, the interfaith services, the helplines for the victims and the first responders, and the people of the community, and the compassion dogs, and appreciating the efforts to publicly grieve our losses and repattern the public space so that the psyche to keep things in balance, move forward with courage, resolve, and a return to normal. And we're on for appreciating all of that and feel that expansion of energy as we go along and check these. The world intention area that we're looking at starts with an issue of 36 million deaths each year caused by non-communicable diseases such as cardiovascular, cancer, diabetes, and chronic lung disease. There's a lack of equitable access to adequate health care. And that is now cleared. So even though those are the truth, that's the facts, ma'am, that's the facts. If our energy is not going there, it's not being manifested in the same way. What we focus on is what we manifest. So the intentions instead for world peace, proxied by the category for world health, and these statements for everybody's intention for world peace. The world is vegetarian. On all humans, and that's the proxy statement for this long list here. There were intentions to eat a plant-based diet, but the Ontario government makes appropriate decisions on funding for Ontario hospitals. First responders and frontline workers are supported through phases of transition. And South Africa is a peaceful country with sufficient abundance and resources. All of that is on. So I'm just going to mark that on. Now our personal intentions. We used again the health and wellness category. The intention, I'm vegetarian, stands for everyone's, but we also have resolution of health issues related to digestion, bringing joy and fulfillment into my life through my painting, feeling deeply loved and cherished, and accomplishing my goals with ease, and experiencing peace within and outside of myself. I have peace in my heart, and healthy, creative, abundant, and useful action, evolving to be better and better, and fit tone and shed weight, and elimination of swelling in the lower extremities, and healthy on levels specifically for me, fill in the blank for you, and I'm conscious and aware of people, situations, events that trigger negativity in me. And we're now on for these intentions. Lovely. Our peace awareness quality. Global peace is disturbed due to a lack of equitable health for everyone, or poor healthcare delivery systems that create unfair profit at the expense of good care. And we're now off for that disturbance. And what you resonate with is what you experience. We're not experiencing that. World health issues of 36 million deaths each year caused by non-communicable diseases such as cardiovascular, cancer, diabetes, or chronic lung disease reflects my personal issues of health for arthritis as a proxy for the group, and we're cleared for that. Good. And the energy exchange repatterning. We'll go through those statements now. We repeat patterns that create disturbances in world peace at the level of health and wellness. Off for that. I feel unsafe and unprotected to let a world leader's intense energy in. Off. I don't radiate my. So you might be asking, well, what do I want to have that for? If you are totally coherent and you can allow a free exchange of energy, that negative energy goes through you like a noodle strainer. You don't feel it. It just goes through. But in fact, if you can maintain your center of wholeness and compassion and coherence, you are now a new centrifugal force, that you call it. I hope I got that right. And people organize around you so that negative energy start to entrain with your positive energy. And you're up here, they come up here rather than the other way around. Okay, so that said, I don't radiate my energy freely because I filter what I allow into my field. We're cleared for filtering. I'm afraid to radiate the positive vibration of my field so that both our energy fields expand. And we're still on for that. Let's just mark that in yellow, so we'll come back. Colleague statement. I feel inadequate in relation to my colleagues in another country. Cleared. That would be helpful for anybody behind the scenes trying to work with other countries and people on their level. Colleagues, I feel inadequate. Oh, sorry, not that one. I talk only about work-related issues, constantly bring up the conversation back to work, and we're cleared for that. So that opens the door for better relationship building. I talk only about work-related issues. Oh, sorry, my eyes just keep going to the same level on the page. I think it's the scrolling thing here. I am open to my colleague relationships evolving and deepening in trust over time. We're on for that. Great statement to build relationships that build peace overall. And emotional. We cooperate and harmoniously combine our efforts and abilities in all of our endeavors. And we resonate with that. So imagine that on the world stage. Imagine that in your own life. We cooperate and harmoniously combine our efforts and abilities in all of our endeavors instead of working against each other. Well, we laugh together. We're resonating with that. The flow, mental level qualities, the flow of listening and talking is uneasy. Cleared for that. Communication flows easily and energizes both of us. We are on for that. And world peace possibilities for the present. The situation in North and South Korea is fully resolved, and we have lasting peace in this lifetime. We are on for that. And equitable quality health care for all and a delivery system that makes it happen. We resonate with that. So listen, those two statements alone, the situation in North and South Korea, I want all of you participating to send me an email. What have you noticed in the news? How is that improving? Is it about the same? Has it gotten worse? But better yet, let me know if you've noticed any major improvements there. Same with that next one, equitable quality health care for all and a delivery system that makes it happen. So if you notice that in your area or your state or your country, send it in. Let's make a note and I'll put it in our appreciations for next time. Uh, Ether chakra energy, we feel connected to each other beyond time and space. We are on for that. We experience deep harmony with each other. We are on for that. And lastly, the commitment needed. We are committed to loving each other unconditionally beyond our personal gratification. And we are on for that too. Lovely. So all the statements have shifted. We need, going back to our map of patterns, we need to check on a positive action. We do not. So no homework involved. This session is complete and we are all repatterned for world peace inside and out. Well, I hope you felt the shift for this session. And definitely, when you see the notes, there's places where fill in the blank for yourself. And if you feel a little bit of a low when you watch the news, come back here and listen to this again. It'll pick you up. Okay. Slowly, with each quality shifted, together we are creating peace in the world. And hopefully that comes back for some goodness for you too. This is Carolyn Winter at World Peace Hologram. Thank you so much for listening and participating. Bye for now.